Hello, my name is Apollo, and this is Green Nature. Today we'll be stalking a wild green player in its natural habitat. Yes, here you will see it going through its daily activities. Here it eats,
Munch.
here it stomps, and here it complains about its predators.
Dang blue players!
Oh, but what's this? It seems the green player has noticed us.
Ooga.
Quickly, audience, we must convince it we are friendly by speaking in its native tongue. Big Stompy, take skill. Counterspell unfair.
Ooga.
There, it seems we've convinced it for now. Until next time. Welcome to Color Theory, the only show that eats, stomps, and complains more than green players. Today we'll be discovering more about these wild green specimens who've been hunted into low population by their natural predators, counterspells, and third-grade reading comprehension. As a preface, I need to emphasize that I'm putting my life on the line for all of you by making this video. My wife is a green player, and she will cripple me if I talk bad about her favorite color. But that being said, green players are known for two things: play big mana and spend big mana, with a little room for raw, unfiltered rage in there somewhere. If you're having trouble visualizing things, shout out to all my aphantasia pals. Here's a great way to know what a green player's like, assuming you have some kitchen proficiency. Welcome to Cooking with Apollo. This time around, we'll be making a green player. Start with this wonderful Caesar salad, and then douse it in this premium 93 gasoline, and finally... Side effects of playing green include ramping out mana so fast you start to forget what turn it is, judging creatures entirely based on their power, toughness, and how badly you want to cuddle them, and also losing your Urza mind when someone kills your game-ending creature as soon as it touches the board, because you liked that creature. Never mind it was about to deal 20 damage to the whole table and give the guy to your left a firm punch to the gazpachos. Let's set the record straight here. Green is a very potent color. They have plenty of value engines, ludicrously powerful creatures, and more mana dorks and ramp spells than you can shake a lesbian tree wizard at. Because of this insane quantity of territory accretion, one would be forgiven for mistaking them for the British. And I would agree with you, but there's a very obvious distinction. One of them acquires land like Zeus acquires restraining orders, leveraging the resources they get from their questionably taken property to maximize profits and strong-arm those with less property into subjugation, while the other one has colossal dreadmaw. Seriously, guys, clear difference. Despite their ability to constitute overwhelming advantage, green does have a handful of exploitable weaknesses. I hinted at the first one earlier, but green doesn't really have many ways to stop counterspells or even just removal. Black never really loses access to their graveyard, white has plenty of protection effects to keep opponents off their back, but green just kind of falls apart like a dying minifigure in a Lego game. Green has plenty of ways to draw cards when you play a creature, or to force creatures to fight outside of combat, but actual card draw and removal are hard to come by, forcing the color to rely on creatures for nearly every aspect of gameplay. This isn't necessarily bad. It isn't like the most common way to interact with your opponents by removing their cards. Whisper, whisper.
Of course I know the most common way to interact with your opponents by removing their creatures. What do you take me for? If punching stuff with your entire body sounds fun, I have some commander suggestions right here. Bristly Bill, Spine Sower, is my son, and if anyone hurts him, I'm calling in a favor from Jin Gitaxis to send you to the
Mega Gay Zone!
He is perfect, and I love him. The good buddy is both a +1/+1 counter enabler and the payoff, getting you counters and doubling the counters on creatures to swing big. Plus, Bristly Bill is the funniest name I've seen on a Magic card since the cheese stands alone. He works great as a landfall strategy, but also focus on counter payoffs and tramplers to make the most of your new cactus friend. Kona, Rescue Beastie, looks at Green Ramp, notes how there are two distinct steps of play land and play creatures, and just asks the question, isn't that too complicated? As long as you have a way to tap them, Kona will slap whatever eldritch monstrosity or big old dino boy you want onto the field. No questions asked. This is obviously amazing, because if there was one thing green players needed more of, it was ways to cheat out big creatures. Totally. For sure. Play ways to tap Kona without attacking,
lots of big friendlies to fuel their effect, and ensure that you have ways to appreciate your new rescues with fight spells and stompy payoffs. Eve, Progenitor Ooze, makes the big funky in my brain go disco mode. Storm, for those unenlightened, is an effect normally reserved for Izzet colors, aka cheaters, that copies a spell for every spell you've cast before it this turn. Remember all that mana we were talking about earlier? Throw as much land onto the battlefield as you can and then spend it on a bunch of little dudes before summoning King Slime and his 8 buff cousins. I personally recommend making it a Slime Against Humanity deck for maximum ooziness. And with that, our Nature Channel knockoff is complete. Punch your opponents in the pelvis, avoid that counterspell overzealous, and make the British jealous, but most importantly, I am coming for your soul ring. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what color you're most excited for in the comments, or I guess color combination. Wow, we've come a long ways.